Zampola, you're watching Let's Talk Reading and I'm Doji Yangzom from Changrifel Lower Secondary School. In this special series, we bring you a special Sunday program organized by READ Bhutan along with BBS. About 30 students from Chubachu, Olakha and Changjiji are participating in this act out of a book named How Old is Pema? I am also one of the participants and I am enacting as a snake. While some of us are animals, others are mountains, trees and flowers. Please enjoy the show.
Good morning to you all. Today we, the members of Changjiji Read Motor Center, would like to act out story on How Old is Pema by Tashi Pem. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Sringhamo. I am the narrator of this story. This story is about finding the age of the brother Pema. His sister Pema introduced the 12 animals, and with the help of these animals, Pema can figure out his age. So we are going to start our show and please enjoy it.
I am Pema. I am 7 years old.
I am Pema. How old am I am Pema.
We looked up at the sky. We asked the passers-by, but they did not know.
Let me introduce you to 12 special animals. One by one, they come each year to give us our age and then disappear. Do not worry, each one will reappear once every 12 years, that's clear.
Do not understand, Pema.
First is the mouse. There is more than one mouse in grandmother's house.
Second is an ox, big cat, bald and as black as your socks.
The third comes tiger, orange and black, from story that I heard.
Fourth comes the hare, hopping as light as air. Fifth is a dragon. Do you hear it roar every now and then?
Sixth is the snake slithering in the sun near the big blue lakes.
Seventh is a horse. Does it walk? Does it run? Oh yes, of course.
Eighth is a sheep with a white back of wool and it is fast asleep.
Then comes the monkey and it is sitting on an elephant and not on a donkey.
10th is the bird, a red one, a blue one, and here comes a third.
11th is a dog. Look at it run after a poor little frog.
12 is the pig. For a tasty little turnip, it will make you a geek.
So how old is Pema?
You were born in the ear of a hare. Start counting after the hopping hare. This is the ear of a sheep. Stop counting at the sleeping sheep.
So what comes after the hopping hare?
The roaring dragon and not a bear.
What comes after the roaring dragon?
The slithering snake near a big blue lake.
What comes after the slithering snake?
The horse that walks and runs, of course.
What comes after the horse?
The sheep that's half asleep.
So how old is Pema?
Start at the hare and stop at the sheep. The smiling sheep has number 4. You are 4 years old.
Well, now you have known the age of Pema, and I hope you all have enjoyed it. And thank you for watching.
The writer of the book, Tashi Pem, also joined us today at the Changjiji Community Library. She reads out her book to us.
So you all know this story better than me now, I think. How old is Pema? I brought some copies for you all. I don't think it'll be enough for everyone, but let me know if you all need more. I can always make printouts. So I'll read it out to you, although you know it by heart and I don't. So how old is Pema? So I wrote the story, but the illustration was done by a young man called Yitop Pelden Doji. He graduated from the Royal Thimphu College. So first it's Ajim Demamo, as you know. I am Dema. I am 7 years old. I am Pema. How old am I, Ajim Dema? Asked Pema. So now Ajim Dema is thinking, how old is Pema? Pema looked up at the sky. He asked a passing fly, but they did not know. So then Ajim Dema, the wise Ajim, says, let me introduce you to 12 special animals. One by one they come each year to give us our age and then disappear. But do not worry, each one will reappear once every 12 years. That is clear. So that's what the wise Ajim Dema says. But Pema is still very confused. So he says, I do not understand, Ajim Dema. So then Ajim Dema decides she's going to explain it to him through through short poems. More, you know, poems. So first is a mouse. There is more than one in grandmother's house. Second is an ox, big and bold, and as black as your socks. Third comes the tiger, orange and black, from stories that I hear. See, I couldn't find anything to rhyme with tiger, so I had to make do with here. Fourth comes the hare. You were the hare, no? You were hopping really well. Hop, hop, hopping, as light as air. Fifth is the dragon. Do you hear it roar every now and then? So again, you must have realized I couldn't find a word that perfectly rhymed with dragon. So I had to make do with then. So sixth is the snake, slithering in the sun near the big blue lake. What's the seventh one? Seventh is a horse. Does it walk? Does it run? Why, yes, of course. Eighth is a sheep. With a white bag of wool, it is fast asleep. There was a really nice sheep mask somebody had made. Ninth comes the monkey. It is sitting on an elephant and not on a donkey. 10th is the bird, a red one, a blue one, and here comes a third. There were 3 really nice birds today. 11th is the dog. Look at it run after a poor little frog. 12th is the pig. There's the pig. For a tasty little turnip, it will do you a gig. So, how old is Pema? Now we're back to the big question. How old is Pema? So then again Ajim Dema says, you were born in the year of the hare. Start counting after the hopping hare. This is the year of the sheep. Stop counting at the sleeping sheep. So then they begin counting. So what comes after the hopping hare? The roaring dragon and not a bear. So we have number 1, 1 year old. What comes after the roaring dragon? The slithering snake near the big blue lake. So that is 2 years old. What comes after the slithering snake? The horse that walks and runs, of course. So how many now? How many years? 3 years more. So what comes after the running horse? The sheep that is half asleep. Stop, says Ajim Pema. So how old is Pema? Yes, start after the hare, stop at the sheep. The smiling sheep has number 4. It's holding number 4. So Pema is 4 years old.
Why did you publish this book?
I've always been interested in writing for children, but never really thought of publishing it. So I would write little things and hope that my 3 children would read them, but I never thought I would bring it out like this. So there was an opportunity that came up. There was an office called Save the Children who was really encouraging children's writers from Bhutan to come up with storybooks for children in Bhutan, because we are always reading stories from outside, which is very good. I mean, there are very, very many good stories out there. but we also felt that maybe it was time for writers from Bhutan to write for children in Bhutan. So that's why I decided to write this. Thank you for the question.
Do you want to make another book?
After today's experience, I definitely feel that I should write another one, more than one maybe, because I thought this would be written and maybe it would be read or it would not be read. But today I realize it is not only read, but it is performed by great actors like you all. So I feel very encouraged. I think I should definitely write more.
From you, how did you get idea from a story?
How did I get the idea to write this story? Okay. Yeah. See, many times when we are children, I'm sure you have experienced it. One of the questions everybody asks us is, how old are you? How old are you, say? So we're always like, oh, I'm 5, I'm 6, I'm 7, which is good because we then calculate it from the year we were born. But we also have this traditional way of calculating our age. And I realized that at least my children, my 3 children, did not know how to count their age like my parents or my grandparents do, because this Chiwa, Lang, Ta, Yu, these 12 special animals, at least my children do not know them. I don't know, maybe you already were aware of these, of this way of counting our age in Bhutan. So I wanted to somehow keep this alive, because we might forget it. We might start counting our age like everybody else in the whole world does. But this is in Bhutan a special way of calculating our age. So I wanted children to also be aware of this. So that was one reason.
Did you ever get bored when you write such stories?
Did I get bored? Definitely not. Definitely not. It's a very exciting process. The only thing, as I explained earlier also, was trying to find words that rhymed, because it's more interesting to read. You know, if the story is told in the form of short poems, it's much more, at least I felt that way, it's more interesting to read. So I had sometimes difficulties trying to find the right words, but it was very exciting. It was definitely not boring. You should try also.
Tata Sensei story kamchiti sai?
Tata Sensei story summina? Ni me?
Amchiti feel kazam do.
Kata feel do me se ya? Say da sem go me we. Dari dikha chagi pha mina drama betem dadi henke sem go me. Sem khalu ani panyam chira madobe o me. Dore tego no me dele maso masura. Ni tiba ani ki hemalu ani ngachi national animal takin yumna donkimsi. Ani ki quality.
When did you start writing the story?
The story in 2014. So it took me a few weeks to put it together. So this was done in 2014, and the other storybook called The Little Takin was done a few months before that. Yeah.
What makes you interested of writing this story?
What makes me interested to write stories? Yeah. The hope that children like you all will read it. I think that is the main motivation. And like I said that time, it was really, I felt really happy and proud and very emotional to see that you all read it and you all even performed it. So that's what makes me want to write stories. You did a very good job narrating.
What is your first story?
Thank you. My first story was about a little takin. A little takin who goes to school, and she's very shy because she feels that she is very different from every other animal in the class. Because, and then some children tease her, they make fun of how she looks, and she finds it difficult to find friends to eat with during lunch break, and she doesn't have anyone to walk home with. So it's a sad little takin. It's about a sad little takin. But then she makes 2 wonderful friends in school who show her that she is very special, she's very important, that she's beautiful, she's bright. So her friends make her feel very good about herself, and then she learns to like going to school. Because in the beginning, she was very hurt, she was very sad, she didn't want to go to school, she's very unhappy. So the story has a good ending after she finds two wonderful friends who help her to learn to be herself and to learn her school and to like her school. So it's about a takin.
What is your favorite animal?
A tough one. I think a horse.
From true story, which do you like? La.
I like both. I think both are different. Both have different. How do you say? I mean, this one is generally about trying to understand the way in Bhutan we calculate our age, and the other one was about. I like both the books. They are very different from each other, but I think both have something special to share. At least that's what I think.
Did you want to write funny story?
Yeah, I think especially my first book was very sad. So I think I should think about writing something funny also. That's a good idea.
Do you have any morals in your story?
Morals to my story?
Yeah.
This one doesn't really have a moral, but the first book, The Little Takin, has a moral. And the moral of that story was that everyone is special, everyone is equally important. Nobody is stupid or less important than others. That was the moral of my first book.
Are you interested in writing stories from childhood?
Actually, yes. I think when I was about your age, my father used to buy me a lot of books. So I used to like reading. So I used to read, and then afterwards I used to think maybe I should try writing. So I tried writing a few stories, all incomplete. So the first one I tried writing on was about a little prince. But I don't remember how the story goes now. I just remember I was really trying to write about a little prince. So yeah, I was interested, but I didn't write anything that was complete. I would start writing, and then I would not complete it. I didn't have the patience. But yes, I was interested from childhood.
Will you continue to writing the stories and make the children happy?
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that it makes children happy. As I was saying, I was really inspired today to see that so many of you had read the book. So I do not have a clear idea what I will write on, but I think I will definitely continue from the inspiration I got today.
Ma'am, can you tell us some of the tips on how you write your stories, ma'am?
I haven't written so much that I'm in a position to offer tips. I think I am not in a position to offer tips. But what I can say is that when a story starts to form in your head, for example, for me it was like, how can I make my children aware about how we calculate our age? So then instead of telling them, Chiwa, Lang, Ta, you learn it in this sequence, instead of trying to teach it to them like that, I thought maybe I should do it in the form of short poems. So then I started. So it's, if you have an idea, you just start to put it down, and then you make a lot of drafts. You just write it down once, and then you read it after a few days, and you find a lot of things you want to change, and then again you try, and then you try. So that was what I did. But as I said, I haven't written so much that I can now start offering tips. I wish I could. But then it's just, if you have an idea, you just put it down, read it after a few days, you find a lot of things you want to change, you change that, again rewrite it, and then the story starts to form. I mean, that's how I did it.
Thank you so much for coming and meeting with us. We are a pleasure to meet you, and thank you so much for writing books for Bhutan's children, and we are so much pleasure to meet you again.
Thank you so much. The pleasure was all mine, I think. More for me than for you, I'm sure.